Hello, everyone. I'm Matthew Regine. I am the CEO of Prospect Future, a marketing and operations agency dedicated to growing businesses. Welcome to On the Reg. Today, I am with Hailey Hawkes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Haley's been in marketing for 12 plus years. She likes to focus on helping small to medium sized businesses grow and really break away from the issues that they might find with other agencies and just the marketing industry in general. Uh, Longtime friends here. So it's great to have you on the episode.
Thank you.
Today, we're going to be discussing brand awareness and remarketing because those are areas that you really like to focus on. Um, I know that you have a breadth of experience to pull from. So I think we're going to have a really good show.
Me as well.
Awesome. Well, On the Reg is a podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs, marketers, business owners, leaders, and anyone really looking to level up their productivity in today's landscape. So we'll just go ahead and dive right in.
Let's do it.
Again, we're kind of be talking about brand awareness. That's a big part of the episode. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about yourself and just basically why you like marketing, why you're still in marketing.
Yeah. So, like you said, I've been in marketing for over 12 years. I really started way back in the stone age of high school working for like newspapers when before we even had flip phones. What year is it? I really started out with ad copy and writing my local small town newspaper ads and creating their imagery, their photography. I did all the sports events. And then I actually fell in love with storytelling at that age. So I was probably 16 when I took this job. I would go there after school. And I'm talking this newspaper is a rundown little building in the middle of nowhere. And I was in charge of their ads. They're like, here you go. Here's your computer. Very old school computer at the time. And I worked on headlines and I worked on ad copy. I also did, the menu for the retirement home. That was a pretty big deal. And then I also did a lot of embarrassing jobs where I'd go out and interview small businesses. And I really loved that part about it. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I had no idea. But that's really the start of my marketing journey was at 16 years old, where I was just trying to help this small newspaper thrive.
So for the newspaper, you were interviewing people.
Oh yeah, it was
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, and then I really only spent like an hour a couple times a week there. But again, this is before cell phones and everything. And then I actually went to college for to be a traveling nurse. I really wanted to help people in the medical field, and I really loved children at the time, so I wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't like the pay. And so I moved to the medical field, and I wanted to be a traveling nurse. So I took a few marketing classes to actually just as small credits that I needed to fulfill. And I fell in love with the psychology and everything about small businesses again, kind of came back up. And I think what really made me trade professions and goals in the careers that I was going after was that side of marketing of the psychological side.
Yeah.
I love to figure out like what makes people tick and what makes people decide things and why are they going with this business over this business or this product over this product. And those classes just was like a turning table for me. I had really good professors at the time, and their knowledge and their expertise in the field just made me change like that.
Well, what's
Um,
interesting is like marketing and from an education standpoint, and I haven't been in college in 10 years, so I don't know how much this has changed, but like
yeah.
a lot of it was very like high level. Here's what makes people tick. Here's how to
Yeah. High
like
level stuff.
diagnose the psyche and like
Mhm.
memory recall and stuff like that. Did you ever get
Definitely.
into anything that was more of like the nitty gritty of like, this is how you should be writing copy and things like
Yeah.
that? Or
Yeah.
was it more,
Well, and then I brought out all those skills I've been training on for a long time, and I still love to write. Come at me, AI. I still love to write. I know what a powerful headline looks like. I know what powerful copy looks like. I know what a powerful website looks like. So I like to incorporate those things into my work daily to this day. And at that time in college, it was a lot of that high level work. It was about what product price placement, right? We've all heard the three P's. So why does that stuff still work today? And it's very true. It's very, you really need to focus on those things. And what I liked about those classes is it's almost like a powerful tool for anybody to take with them in their professions. What makes people choose you over that candidate in an interview? What makes, anybody do anything? And I love that side of things. And that's why I really want to use my forces to help small to medium to large businesses thrive because they deserve
Yeah,
it.
and I mean, like you said, marketing's in everything. That's the
Oh,
crazy thing is
yeah,
like
it is. You market yourself every day.
I've talked with I was in this networking group where a lot of them are gym owners and
Sure.
they built their gym business. And I'm like, you guys know so much about
You do.
marketing
They
because
do. Yeah.
whether you're building a business, whether you're marketing
They
yourself
have it
to
rough.
get a job,
Mhm.
marketing and copy and
Yep.
understanding your audience, like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
in literally anything from a professional
Everything.
standpoint.
Yeah, that's why we see so many, personal trainers and gyms struggle. They have to put themselves out there in a way that a lot of businesses don't, in a way different way. So, absolutely. I can agree more. Mhm.
Well, one of the things on that standpoint is like, how do people brand themselves? Like, what does it mean to be a brand in
Yeah.
the 21st century, let alone 2024?
Sure. Brand awareness is, in my opinion, is one of the most underestimated, overlooked areas that I am finding with marketing today. Brand awareness, some of the biggest companies that I personally work with, the number one thing that they come to me continuously, I had no idea how important brand awareness was when I first started, and even to this day. It is so critical to master this brand awareness in all facets that you possibly can. And it's not an easy mountain. It's not an easy climb, but it's also doesn't need to be this hairy, scary thing that we need to make marketing or brand awareness be. I think it's just wrapping your head around the subject and figuring out, okay, what is our brand? Who are we serving? Why, when, and where? We've all heard that. But are you dissecting those questions? Are you getting extremely clear on what you're doing in 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, by the end of this year? Are you breaking that back down into quarterly goals, weekly goals, monthly goals? We've all heard that, but are you actually doing it? And when you're creating your landscape for brand awareness, you need to be answering questions all the time. And every single one of your team members needs to know where that goal is going, where that end goal is going, where that yearly goal is going. Brand awareness is not just answering, oh, yeah, we sell this product, or yes, we have this service. Do you live and breathe it? Does everybody on your team live
So,
and breathe it?
so interestingly enough, I've never really thought of brand awareness from an internal standpoint. And that's what it sounds like you're
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Normally, when people think about brand
Internally
awareness,
and
it's like,
externally.
what do your customers think? What do your
Mhm.
partners think? But it's like, hey, to really bring that all,
Yeah.
your internal team needs to understand the brand better than anyone.
It's so true. And anyone you're bringing on, from your admin staff to your sales guys to your social influencer to you, if you're two people on the table, do those two people know everything about your brand and where you're going? You know what I mean? It has to be such a clear picture about your vision and where you're heading that everybody is on board and we're riding the same sailboat to that goal. And that includes the financial side. It includes the exposure side, and it includes where anything that you want to be that 5-year goal from now needs to start happening today, but you need to break it down into digestible pieces for everybody to get on board with. And if they're not, that's where we teach hiring and firing. So,
Well,
yeah.
what is a brand though? Because I think a lot of people think, okay, a brand is Olay or Nike or Adidas.
Yeah.
It's e-commerce companies that I consume products from.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Um, Sort of. I would say brand awareness, if I had to define it, it's clarity. I feel like brand awareness, the number one word that would supplement and hold hands and they go on a honeymoon together would be clarity. Like, do you know your end goals? Do you know where you're going? Do you know what vision you're portraying out there? Have you asked 100 people a year minimum what they think of your brand? Have you done surveys? Have you sent out your customers from the past questions about your brand? All of these little tiny details make big impacts on your overall revenue and your overall exposure. So I personally think that brand awareness means clarity. It's you got to break down everything that you want accomplished and then have everybody else on board with you on that ride.
And so this is for any business,
Any
not just
business.
e-commerce businesses.
Absolutely. Service-based industries, e-commerce, anything that you're trying to do. Airbnbs, if you're doing something like that, kind of Verbo or something that, as simple as that, you want to make sure you're selling the product, you're selling the image, you're selling the dream, you're selling what people are bringing back to you of positivity. That's your sales pitch right there of what you can get into every piece of print, paid ad, anything that you're doing. That's your brand. Brand should be very clear about why you started this in the first place. What are your goals with it? What does it help? What is the value that you're bringing to your local community or nationally? And how do we get more of people to pay attention? Right? That's the hardest question. Marketing is the number one sought out skill. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing really powerful marketing and it would be working overnight. Another thing is like there's a time and place to hire your grandmother or your niece or your nephew to do your marketing. And that marketing is not one of those areas. But at the same time, marketing does not need to be this uphill battle all the time of struggle and confusion. And brand awareness doesn't need to be either. Typically, when I work with clients, we do 8 minimum exercises around brand awareness. We answer very clear questions. We get down into the nitty gritty. And you won't believe how many people come back years and years later. I am so glad we did that brand awareness exercise because that has created the foundation for if we go to networking events, I know exactly who to not talk to and who to talk to. I know exactly what video to send the CEO, you know? And it's really just creating that clarity and that brand awareness that you can take into every paid ad, every organic strategy, every influencer, every event that you go to. That really makes a difference.
So what does this look like? Is this clearly it's not just a logo, right? Is it
No,
and it's
no, no,
not just a logo and a mission
no.
statement. It's not just a logo and maybe brand
Absolutely,
guidelines. Like
absolutely not.
how far you take it and like what does the documentation look like? Or is
Yeah.
it mostly thought exercises that are going
Yeah.
to get you on that level?
You know, that is the bare minimum. I say mission statement, great. Logo, great. All the vector files of your logo, great. That's exciting. Really powerful website, great. Social media content, great. The biggest area I'm seeing is folks are throwing money at the problem and hoping that it works. They're throwing money at TV commercials, billboards, paid ads. They're hoping this influencer with their 10,000 followers and they have one post with that influencer. No, no, no. You have to really get clear about where your money is going, what is it producing, and what reports are coming back. But brand awareness is not just logo, it's not just color palettes, it is definition. It is where are we going and how do we use these tools to get there? You don't want to just throw ads up like a newspaper ad, like the good old days. That is luckily not where we have to be these days. You know, TV commercials, you spend an arm and a leg to get this time slot and you get X amount of time on a TV commercial and you hope for the best. With Facebook and Instagram funnels these days, Google ads, shopping ads, we have the power to send out so many messages through online target markets at the right time, at the right place, and get data back to improve. Brand awareness, you want to have a brand kit. You want to have what a brand kit is for those who don't know. You just want to have your logo, your colors, your fonts, everything laid out. Say if you had to hand it over to a t-shirt company or something like that, that's great. Brand awareness kit has everything clearly defined when it comes to the imagery. When it comes to logo, again, colors, all of that is great. What I'm talking about is brand awareness of who your exact person is that you're talking to with every single thing that you do. Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, whether even the majority of people in marketing, I would say, think of brand from a graphical visual standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And everything you're saying in terms of developing the brand, understanding your avatar, understanding your ideal target market,
Mm-hmm.
those things lead into the visuals. You
Absolutely.
don't start with the visual. You don't go and say, hey, here's the name of my business. Here's an icon that kind of sounds like it matches this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hey, does this
Mm-hmm.
logo or is this imagery, does this evoke the feelings we want people to get
Yeah.
when they think of our brand and all these values we created previously,
Right. Right.
right?
Yeah.
But on top of that, it's not just the imagery.
It is not.
And so many marketers, I know for a fact, so many marketers neglect to think about this in depth in that your brand is your
Your
voice.
brand is just
It's
everything.
your research,
And
right?
also, like, remember why you started in the first place. Fire up those emotions again. It's easy year 2, year 3 to be exhausted, confused. This crazy monster called marketing is at your back, and you're like, help. You know, you have your niece, you have your nephew, you have your grandma, like I said before, running it for you, or this agency who's not providing reports. So how do you like fire up those emotions about what you're doing with your marketing and where you're going to take it? And it's really drilling down into every nook and cranny of your brand as possible. And what I start with my clients is I have this graphic called Marketing Mark. And he has all these arms and legs as a robot. It's called the Marketing Mark robot. His name is Mark. And we go through, and I have every arm and leg branching off to Facebook and Instagram funnels, pay per click, organic strategy, LinkedIn strategy, YouTube strategy, TikTok strategy, your website strategy and what it looks like, SEO. Then we go into Google Ads and how are those performing, or who can we get to do those, or if we want to do them. We want to have every arm and leg full. And we want to fill those buckets to the T with our brand and what it stands for and where it's going. So think of marketing as, I always say, brand awareness is, think of it as using all of these paid ad strategies, SEO, social channels they're just tools. They're just tools to showcase the community what you're made of. And brand awareness is those warm and cozy, fuzzy feelings. For example, for a roofer, you want to be shaking hands with the public. So what we want to do is pretend you're a fisherman and you're casting a net out into your local community to showcase your roofing experience, your expertise. You're shaking hands with the public. You're not saying, hey, get a free inspection today. Hey, book a complimentary call with us now. You're not selling to them yet. They do not know you yet.
Right.
They are not ready to buy yet. They're not buying a pair of pants here. They are buying a $90,000 roof minimum, probably, right? So you have to warm your community up first. Why you're going to show up on time, why you're not going to leave nails in the yard for the pets and the kids to step on, why you're going to, you have all these credentials and certifications as a roofer, why you're better than this guy over here or this sketchy subcontractor that just calls themselves a roofer overnight. So you got to create this like powerful story of why you're different and what matters to the public. Put yourself in their shoes. That is the number one thing as well I train clients on.
You know what I think? One of the ways that I really kind of draw that out of clients is conversations like this, where I call them and we just talk about, hey, how are things going?
Yep.
What was your most recent customer like? What did they like about your service?
What did they like about you?
Because I think sometimes
Take notes.
as a business owner, you may not have a marketing mindset.
Yeah.
You may be like, I am going to crush it as a roofer. I'm going to do all these things right.
Yeah.
These are the things that I know are wrong and that I want to avoid. But you don't always think to put these down on paper.
Absolutely.
Or market them, whether via copy or ads, in a way that is going to appeal to your target demographic. So talking to customers and being like, hey, like, are you veteran owned?
Yeah.
Or do you guys have financing available? Like these types of things.
Those
it's like,
matter to people.
Those matter. And I've had clients that have worked with me for a long time, and I uncover these things that I never knew. And I'm like, we need to get this out
Put
here
yourself
right away.
in their shoes.
Yeah.
Because like, again, back to a roofer, so much about roofers, your business. You're a business owner of a roofer. You know so much about shingles and the product and the financing options. That client doesn't. And they want to know what their financing options are. They want to know if you're going to be clean. And I have a birthday party for my kids next week in the yard. Are you going to leave a mess like the last guy did? They care about what they care about. That's what's going to sell. That's brand awareness. And also, if it sells in person, it will sell online. If it sells in person, for you, it will sell online. Talk to your sales guys, talk to your administration. Everybody should be taking notes all year round. What is our top 5 clients that brought in X million a year or X thousands a year? Let's talk to them and figure out why they chose us. Why did they do business with us? What did they like about us? Why did they leave that testimonial? And let's market that. Because if it sells in person, it's going to sell for you in every ad, every SEO blog that you make.
Well, I think this is one of the key elements of brand awareness is reviews and testimonials
are
massive. It's like word of mouth is never going to be dead.
Yeah.
People
Absolutely
want to trust the person they're going with. And if they know someone who worked with them and had a good experience, that's huge. So
I
you should
require
be
that.
leveraging those as much as possible and seeking them out as well.
As much as you can.
Area.
Every Google My Business review, you should be getting testimonial videos like 10 a quarter. And use those in your social media content, your ads, anywhere you can. That is your army of referrals, is what I call that. They are ready to work for you, and let them. So get that content, get the videos of testimonials, get that in every piece of things that you guys are doing.
What other channels should businesses be thinking about for brand awareness?
Facebook and Instagram sales funnels immediately. Brand awareness is huge on Facebook and Instagram right now. You can leverage it in a way that TV, billboards, radio, and even Google right now cannot touch. The reason for that is because, again, Facebook is really an outbound strategy and Google is inbound when you're thinking about the psychological side. So Google, people are typing into Google search keywords. They're actively looking for services. Facebook and Instagram, we have the power to pretend we're fishermen and we cast a net out with social media ads via pictures, powerful video, and we're able to cast that out into neighborhoods. We can drill down and pinpoint neighborhoods, pinpoint cities, pinpoint counties, pinpoint certain states, depending how big you are, and really showcase what we're made of. And that is through powerful video. You need to have powerful video. It is the past, present, future of marketing. Video is where we want to be with brand awareness. And we want to focus on brand awareness campaign structures in the right way. Facebook and Instagram will serve your business paid per click ads. Pay per click ads, Facebook and Instagram will be amazing for businesses if done the right way. I hear all the time, they don't work for us. They don't work for us. That's totally accurate if you're doing them the wrong way. And that's hard. I don't blame business owners for that. It is a difficult platform at first to navigate. But if you have clean cut ice cream cones, sales funnels, brand awareness, lead gen, retargeting, brand awareness, lead gen, retargeting. They're very simple if you zoom it out to that kind of structure. That's going to serve your business all day, every day. Brand awareness should be shaking hands with the public. You're taking them out on a date. You're saying hello at that point. You're not trying to sell. You are letting them know, here's what we're up to. Here's our core values. Here's why we're doing what we're doing. Here's why we're not going to leave a mess if you're a roofer or like, you're a chiropractor. Here's why we're different. Here's our awards. Here's our credentials. Here's why we have 362 positive reviews on Google. You're shaking hands with the public, and then you can go into lead gen strategies and sales and retargeting. Brand awareness is your first stomping ground, and you can't go into it half swinging. You got to be powerful. You got to send a message. You got to be kind. You got to be in their shoes, not your shoes.
So you're intentionally seeking out brand awareness rather than having it as a side bonus of running other campaigns.
I think you should absolutely seek it out as your number one strategy.
So for people listening, basically, when you're looking at a marketing funnel, especially in a platform like Meta Ads, you can create campaigns that also follow their own funnel. You can have video views, brand awareness at the top. You'll have performance-based marketing, which is more towards the middle, which is going to be your conversions, your leads, your sales. And then towards the bottom, you're going to have remarketing, where we'll cover that in much more depth later, but you're basically speaking to previous customers, previous visitors, stuff like that. So you're saying, don't just fill that bottom of the funnel. You always want to have something at the top.
Everyone starts at the middle and the bottom. Lead gen, sales. I need leads. I need to get this. We are all aware. Your goals are our goals, right? As marketers, your goals are our goals. Our leads are obviously on our agenda. They are a number one priority, but start slower. Rewind, figure out what do people want? They like doing business with people. People like doing business with people. So how do you create that human element? If you're a homeowner, what do you care about? Your financing options, that they're, going to show up when they say they are, that they're going to not leave a mess. If you're a roofer, chiropractor, what do you care about? If you're a cleaning service, what do you care about? If you're selling an actual tangible product in e-commerce, what do they care about? Not what you care about. And start there. Warm them up first. Don't ask for the sale. It's what we've been taught since grade school, but no one does it. We've got to learn to do business with people.
Date before marriage.
Date someone before you get married to them. It's very important.
Yeah.
You
don't just jump right in. Hey, let's get married. You got to butter them up first. You got to understand whether you actually work together well or not. And it goes both ways, right? Like, as the business, you don't want to just work with anyone and everyone.
Absolutely not. You do not want that person that's going to be a horrific customer for you. You've got to vet them out. And that's why you want to get very clear on your messaging. And you're allowed to not say yes to everybody,
Yeah.
And there's plenty of options to weed out the bad eggs. So yes, that's what I would recommend. Facebook, Instagram, but how, again, I look at things with brand awareness, you want to make sure everything's holding hands, and it doesn't have to happen overnight. It doesn't have to be this big mountain to climb. You want everything to be a glue, and you want everything to hold hands. Google should be holding hands with Facebook and Instagram and retargeting. Google Shopping should be holding hands with Facebook, Instagram, retargeting. Organic should be holding hands with your paid efforts. Your community, your reputation, Google My Business reviews, everything, all hands on deck. All hands on deck. Every channel and tool should be working toward your end goals with revenue and exposure and what you want your brand to say to the public. do the end target.
You want to know what my most recent favorite brand awareness strategy is?
I do.
It's nothing new, but
If you're about to say TikTok. Oh, yeah.
truck wraps.
Oh,
Holy
man.
moly. I
I could
have
talk about this all day, every day.
I have so many clients that tell me, I ask them like, "Hey, where are your leads coming from?" And obviously I track those things, but like,
I have so many
you still want to
good.
know. And they're like,
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot
I
of
got a
companies
ton from
for
just seeing our
recommendations for
truck
that.
wrap.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
that's
It's
huge for a
huge, but
service-based
also
business.
I'll raise you an ace. Is that truck wrap serving your business in a way that it should, and should it be better? Because I do this all the time with my clients' logos, their website, their truck wraps, their anything. Is I tell them, I'm like, put it in black and white. Just put it in black and white, and then also go ask 5 random strangers what you think about this versus like a competitor's who's a really good brand. And I will tell you what, again, these bigger companies I work with, they had no idea how important this exercise is. They're like, I hate our logo. I hate our brand. And I never want to focus on logo or like design too much, but it is really important. For example, how would you feel if you were at a stoplight and you saw a plumber and they had big 2 animated guys with big biceps and they were cartoons, maybe like something crazy in their mouth, and they're looking at you and it's about plumbing, HVAC, the heating, cooling. And then you're at another stoplight and you have a dinky little logo that's a truck wrap, and then it's like a circle with a check mark and then a few other things. Like those animated guys are going to be staring at you. They're big. The whole truck is wrapped full of vibrant colors, and people will take a picture of it or they'll write it down in their phones at these stoplights, or if they're parked behind you. All of it matters. It all matters. Everything matters that you don't think that matters. It matters.
Yeah. And well, I don't really love, like, we're in Colorado.
Mhm.
Everyone tries and incorporate the Coloradan flag into their
Oh
company.
my gosh.
I don't
It's so
it's
true.
a cool flag, but I don't think we're the state to do that. Frankly, I think you could come up with better branding that isn't
Yeah.
the Colorado logo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you go to Texas, put that Texas flag in your
Yeah.
logo.
People are proud in
They love
Texas.
it. You put the
Yeah.
American flag or
They'd be
Texas
proud over there.
flag or any of those colors in your logo on your
Yeah.
truck wrap,
Yeah.
you get pictures for days.
Yeah, and you can work with your local, marketing places that do rebranding. I know a lot of places that do truck wraps. They're phenomenal at their craft. Let them work their craft because they will change your brand around like that.
Yeah.
Something that you're confused about, these companies that will do the wrap trucks, will do the whole rebrand, are fantastic. I can do a ton with your brand, but I don't do wrap trucks. You want to get somebody really tailored in that area to make or break those trucks and make them sing. And it's very important. I'm really glad
Nice.
you brought that up.
All right, so we talked about a lot with Facebook sales funnels.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the best bang for your buck if you're
Ooh.
spending money on brand awareness?
Well, my biggest chunk of advice is to first come up with a marketing budget. I recommend 4 to 12% of your annual revenue coming in, going toward marketing in general. That includes YouTube ads, Google ads, Facebook and Instagram, paid ads. All of those are paid ads. Social influencers, events that you're going to be participating and paying for. All of that, 4 to 12% goes to your annual marketing budget. Then from that, you want to allocate, okay, what's going to Google? What's going to Facebook and Instagram? What's going to this channel? And you want to get clear, young business owner. You want to be so set up for success in the next 3 years, 2025, 2026, 2027, by getting clarity from 2024. So you want to know, okay, getting reports from any TV ads you're running, sponsorships, Facebook and Instagram, Google ads, what's bringing in the dough? You want to get very clear so you can spend those in those areas next year and next year and next year. But Facebook and Instagram funnels, I would say, is one of the most creme de la creme strategies out there today, including Google. Certain service-based industries, Google is declining. E-commerce, I think it's going to be extremely rich and valuable for e-commerce brands. I think Google, we're seeing a really big pivot where Google is going to favoritize e-commerce brands and local service ads. That's going to be the new creme de la creme for Google for service-based industries because it's weeding out the bad eggs that don't have the credentials and awards for Google. So Facebook and Instagram funnels and doing the paid ads the right way is going to serve your business very well. I highly recommend video. If I not mentioned that yet, video on Facebook and Instagram,
And
and then Google.
on that note, traditional advertising, is typically
Sure.
what a lot of people think of when they think of brand awareness. They think of radio, they think
Print,
of television, they think of print, right?
radio.
I'm not a traditional advertiser,
Me either.
right? So I can't
In most
speak
cases.
I can't speak 100% to the efficacy of going those routes, but what I will say is that most of those, regardless of size, even if it's a local radio station, you're looking at
Big,
much
big
larger
coin.
investments for
Big
much
coin.
larger periods of time.
Yep.
Whereas Facebook, you can
It is the
maneuver,
lowest cost
you can choose
for the
your
biggest
costs,
bang.
and you can really focus on the outcomes because you have way better
Absolutely.
tracking
If
on
done the right
platforms
way.
like that.
Yep, absolutely. And I will advise plenty of my clients, I will never be the marketer to say, quit doing billboards, quit doing TV, but I want proof. I
Right.
want some type of like metric. I want to know how many people are driving on that road if you're doing a billboard, or is it like on a desolate road and you're paying some major coin for that space? You got to be smart about your marketing budget because the easiest thing to do, especially when you start to really get the revenue you're looking for, is to throw money at the problem. And then you're throwing all of this extra money at all these different channels, having no idea of what is working and what is not. So I will say Facebook and Instagram sales funnels, if done the right way, is going to be a really good strategy. Google as well, as always. It always has been. It always will be. And for now, SEO, depending on the company, I don't even advocate SEO on certain industries these days because of the amount of cost and the amount of saturation there
Same.
is. So there's so much going on. But I would say the paid ads, you got to figure out how it's going to work for your individual industry and they will serve you well. And don't overspend on anything and really try to figure out as a team where you're going to navigate your marketing ship, what's going to work best, what's not, and get as much metrics as you possibly can back from anywhere you're spending your marketing dollars.
And I think too that you need to start with the foundation,
Major.
right? Whether, again, I'm not advocating against any platform. Every
Yeah.
platform serves a purpose, but
Mhm.
there are foundational elements you should always put into place. You should have website tracking set up.
Mhm.
You should have remarketing set up if
Yeah.
you're in an industry that allows for you to be able to do that.
Mhm.
And you should have an email list set up,
Big
whether
time.
you use it or even if you don't use it,
We
you
can
need
use
to
it
have
as
these
marketers later.
foundations
Mhm.
set up so that when you do start running billboards or you
Absolutely.
do start running these other channels, that you actually know like, hey, here's a massive uptick. We're not running anything
Mhm.
else. And frankly, we get this question all the time as marketers where it's like, hey, I don't know if this is working. It's like, turn it off.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Or
Turn it
get
off.
reports back. And then also keep third parties accountable because unfortunately, you and I both have been exposed to plenty of agencies that just do not provide reporting, do not provide the work that's being done, and they get loaded. And my biggest pet peeve right now, and I'm allowed to say this, is that everyone is a marketer these days. And honestly, it sucks. It sucks for business owners because they are my ride or dies. I love my businesses. They are the heart of our economy. And I don't believe that they should get fucking screwed over.
Yeah.
And excuse my French, but I don't believe in that. And I think that we need to do a better job as marketers at holding things to be accountable because that's how these amazing businesses that have a great product or a great service, they thrive through marketing. It's the best tool that's going to help you guys thrive. So why aren't you getting reports back? Why aren't you getting like a checklist of the work being done? How do we help you hire an in-house marketing manager? All things matter and you need to take those things seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And it's hard. And also, I would say that one thing I'd just like to mention here is like marketing tends to be this big beast. And a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners that work with me, they're scared of it at first. So you don't want to touch video at the 10-foot pole. They don't want to like learn data or like figure it out. And it doesn't have to happen overnight. Just remember that it does not all have to happen overnight. You can learn slowly. You can work with someone to figure it out. Just do your best at not wasting your precious budget toward wrong things. And also, my biggest piece of advice too is like, don't hire the person that has all the bells and whistles and the showy, flashy ads and content that makes you believe what they're selling. Trust the marketer or the person that has failed a ton
Mm.
and knows metrics and knows data and will be vulnerable telling you how they've messed up on accounts before.
Okay. But
Trust
I
that
gotta
person.
challenge
Trust
you
that
here.
person who's going to not do that for your business.
This whole episode is about brand awareness and the
Mhm.
showy, flashy companies that put out these
Well,
awesome
I just mean
ads.
if these clients are going to be hiring a marketing agency or person, don't always trust the flashiest guys or the biggest marketing agencies or
But why
brands.
not? Because they're killing it on brand awareness.
But do they know their shit? And it's okay that if you're focusing on brand awareness and you have this amazing product and you're flashy and great, that's what we're after. But you want to make sure you back up your talk. So like if like for our clients, the people we serve, we want to make sure whatever you talk, walk that talk. As an agency that you're going to hire, if you're hiring a freelancer, small boutique agency marketer, big conglomerate marketer, just hold third parties accountable is my number one piece of advice.
I would say, regardless of the agency, they have to prove themselves.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I don't believe in guarantees in marketing.
Oh, no, I don't either. And that's not what I'm saying. I definitely don't believe in guarantees. I don't believe in like, we'll triple your ROI and we'll, do XYZ. But I would say just make sure you're at least getting reports back and they're doing their due diligence to help your business, not just pretend to, because that's what I'm seeing a lot of.
I think being proactive,
Mm-hmm.
executing on what you've actually discussed, those are the
Absolutely.
two biggest factors,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing upfront whether they're going to be a good partner or not. If they say, "Hey,
Absolutely.
I'm going to get this back to you in 2 weeks," and they don't, well,
Absolutely. Yeah.
maybe not a great partner. And this is why, like,
Uh-huh.
with a
That's
lot of
exactly what I'm saying.
a lot of our clients will do short-term contracts because it's like, look,
It might
I
not
don't.
work. It really might not for specific avenues that a client's after. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it
it's
might
like
not work.
I
So
don't need to lock you into something because
absolutely.
just from my communication alone, you'll know that you're getting tremendous value from the
Absolutely.
service.
Absolutely. It's a red flag to me if you are locked into really long handcuff contracts or if they are not going to provide that everything that you create is yours, such as websites, ads, etc. My point here is just making sure you're getting back some reports, some actual tasks that are being done. And honestly, that's just the number one thing I'm seeing my clients that I work with, their problem areas. Oh, we were spending X amount a month with this agency. And like, I was like, what reports did you get? Oh, we didn't get any. Oh, well, what tasks were being done? Oh, we are not sure. And that's okay because it's easy to do that. It's easy to hand that baton and make feel like they're doing that work for you. But unfortunately, I'm just seeing a lot of miscommunications and nothing really being provided from those third party agencies to clients.
I will say this. I've custom dashboards for every client that I have.
Mm-hmm.
They never look at
Oh,
them.
oh yeah.
They never look at them.
But they
So
got them.
they got them if they want to. And nothing's hidden.
Yeah.
Everything's real data. Everything's real time, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's like
Mm.
the reason they don't look at them is because I
They
call
and
them
they know
and
you're
I
doing your
say,
work. They know
"Hey,
you're doing your
did you
job.
notice this happened?" Or,
Yeah.
"Hey, we saw this week. Do you agree with that? Like,
And
are
you're
you seeing that on
helping,
your
not
end?"
hindering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think it's just it's an area of issues that I'm personally seeing across the board. And it also is going to help your business when you're not just throwing money at things again. You're actually really throwing that money towards something that's going to go somewhere. And I will say, I have had clients that don't see tremendous results from Facebook and Instagram sales funnels that I run or brand awareness campaigns or fill in the blank. But truly, most of my clients do if done the right way. But yeah, there's no guarantee because this demographic in this town is different than this one. And for whatever reason, they are not picking up what we're throwing down.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case. Most of the time, you will see some really good things. And that should be handed over to the business owner in a silver platter. Here's what's working, here's what's not. Here's what our goals are for your marketing, and here's what's being done.
Okay.
Is
So you
what should be
keep
done.
you keep mentioning sales funnel,
Big time.
and you're also
I
saying,
hate the buzzword funnel. You know what I mean? Okay. Funnels. It's the worst word right now because of like funnels and all these things. But funnels do work. And they just the reason I said brand awareness, lead gen, retargeting, it's a way for clients and people and entrepreneurs to zoom out and just get an idea of what I'm talking about. Funnels can be as intricate and advanced as you want to make them, but they do work.
but when you're talking about sales funnel,
Mm-hmm.
are you talking about from a marketing standpoint, sales enablement standpoint? Because you just mentioned hand it to them on a silver platter,
Sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like our job isn't to just, hey, I drove traffic.
Yeah.
See you later, right? Here's some numbers of some things that I did.
I think this will work. I don't know.
Real huge non sequitur, but
Oh dear.
I had this
Hope
client that's
that's
like,
not
hey, this guy got me thousands of new traffic to my website,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, he didn't.
No, you didn't.
What? Because I looked into the data. I'm like, you know what he did is he
Uh,
opened up your website to the rest of the world, and so you're getting traffic from countries that don't matter,
India.
right? So it's not just about, hey, we got you more of this. We got you more
Yeah.
traffic, more
Yeah.
clicks. It's, hey, what does it actually turn into? But I
Absolutely.
digress. What does sales funnel mean to you in the context of what you've been saying?
Sales funnel means I feel like in my perspective, to really not make it too into the trenches in the weeds right now, brand awareness, lead gen, retargeting. I actually give this visual to several clients I work with. Brand awareness, lead gen, retargeting. You got to warm up your community first. You can't just be like, look at this great product we have or this service we have. Don't you want to buy it? Really walk into I've been to so many seminars, so many of the marketing gurus that I know, some of the top experts I've ever worked with in the last 2 years, we are finding empathy and compassion are so important and the number one strategies you can run with. If you take off your shoes, untie them, climb into your target market shoes, tie them up, and walk around for a couple weeks. What are their problems? What did they cry about last week? Because this contractor left a mess in their yard and now they don't know what to do and they're out X amount of money, right?
Yeah.
Walk in a human shoes for a change. Walk in your target market shoes. If you're selling a supplement, if you're selling like a t-shirt, if you're selling this amazing closet organizer, what are their problems? That's your pitch right there. That's your funnel. You warm them up first with a brand awareness, then a lead gen and retargeting. And what I mean by that is a brand awareness video and an image. So maybe if let's just go with an example of a fun closet organizer for fun. Or maybe you're like a contractor who redoes closets or something like that. So we're going to just take a brand awareness video and we're going to show the public, this is what we do. This is the problem we solve. And do you ever feel like this too? And it's feelings that you start with. It's like, what problem does your product or service solve? And we've heard that before countless times. Sell the problem, not your product or service. Sell what you're going to fix.
Yeah.
And that is through video, brand awareness at the top of the funnel. You want to just send that out into that city or that county, that zip code with a powerful video, powerful ad copy that isn't selling. It's just storytelling at first. You want to warm that person up. The thousands of people up can be warmed up before you sell to them. And then the lead gen side, the middle funnel where everyone wants to start, you can start selling to them all day, every day. Shorter ad copies, more blunt text, more call to actions. Sign up now, donate, buy now, book a free inspection. You can sell to them more at the lead gen side now that the community has been warmed up to you. It's psychology.
I agree, but I don't think it's necessarily the only way.
Oh no, it's
Um,
not. It's really not, but it's a powerful way and it's very lucrative.
we started really shifting a lot of times when we do audits for email campaigns for clients,
Mhm.
we notice that, hey, every campaign you're doing is a sale or a promotion. So
That's the retargeting, bottom of the funnel.
you're well,
Recycle.
not even retargeting. It's like
Mhm.
just newsletters or random campaigns, and basically you're training your
Mhm.
customers to expect that every time you communicate with them, it's to
Mhm.
your benefit,
Yeah, it's
right?
true. Well, bottom of the funnel can be retargeting or it can be promotions or it could be sales or it could be like a straight pitch. It could be a straight, those work. Those do bottom of the funnels. Let's get things moving. They do work. But when we slow down and we kind of start with the storytelling and what we're about, that's where the most powerful brands I've worked with
Well, and
excel.
that's what I'm saying is that once you shift that strategy to sell, 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 and to, hey, here's some value we learned along
Mhm.
the way,
Mhm.
you're now communicating with people on a human level.
Oh yeah.
You're not just saying, hey, you're money to me and
Mhm.
I'm a product to you that you need. It's, hey, we're an actual brand
Yeah.
that could be a part of your lifestyle and we can help you with things that aren't just selling you products that benefit us.
Oh yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I mean, it's selling without selling. It's like this amazing psychological way of doing business. It's selling without selling. And if you my my favorite thing too is just to sell, sell, sell too. I love that part of marketing. I love the lead gen side. But I'm like, I know what brand awareness provides. I know what sales that will provide later if I start there. So, we got to get those lead gens in place and we got to drive those leads and quality sales. Brand awareness will help you prepare that foundation for astronomical growth, period.
Yeah. Are there any metrics or anything that you really like to pay attention to when you're
Hmm.
talking about brand awareness?
Definitely. So when it comes to paid ads, Facebook and Instagram have really come a long way in the brand awareness sector. So top of funnel, brand awareness. I do this a lot of these campaigns at the ad recall side of things. It's just like anything with radio, with TV, with Google Ads. We are trying to recall your audience to remember your brand or your product. So we're recalling psychological ways to get back into our wheelhouse, to remember us, right? So Facebook has this really interesting metric nowadays, and it's ad recall lift. And they have come a long ways. I've done a lot of research around this metric. And when we run a brand awareness strategy, the algorithm with machine learning these days is really smart. And it's come a long ways with ad recall lift. It's a specific metric for brand awareness. And when we cast our net out there and we're gaining those clicks and we're gaining that traction and gaining these thousands of fish into our net, we are learning that ad recall lift is a really good metric to pay attention to, because that metric alone tells me as a marketer how many people will remember this XYZ brand in the last 24 hours to 3 days. And it's a really, really interesting metric because it's very accurate these days. Facebook takes in all of these different areas. For those who don't know out there, Facebook owns Instagram as of like what, 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Uh, what year is it? But Facebook and Instagram has worked a long ways, a ton of work put into this to figure out ad recall lift, and it's to gather new fish into your net. So I always use this analogy because it's a great way for people to grasp brand awareness. And we are kind of saying hello to the public with brand awareness, and the algorithm will treat it totally different than a lead gen objective strategy. So when we launch these brand awareness strategies, ad recall lift is a really good metric I like to grow month over month. And then I trade out a brand awareness video or product video or service-based industry video or team video every month to grow that metric. And by the end of the year, we usually have 12 to 25,000 on average clicks or new fish in our net from this brand awareness strategy. Another one is like just going back to the basics, not making things complicated. Are your sales growing? Are your leads growing quarter over quarter? That will tell you how healthy your brand awareness strategies are. And Google is the same thing. Google should just hold hands with your images and video strategies. But brand awareness, ad recall lift is a great metric. Click through rate. Again, I hate when marketers go through all these buzzwords, like they know everything about the universe and click through rate and all these fancy words. And really, I just break it down to clients like, okay, click through rate is like how well our ads are showing in the community and how well people are paying attention to them.
Yeah.
It's clicks divided by how much your ads are shown. It doesn't need to be complicated. We don't need to make it this like Einstein algorithm equation of complexity, but click through rate's a good one. It just shows like how much your brand is growing, how much people are paying attention to it, engaging with it, clicking on it, sharing it, things like that with Google and Facebook and Instagram. Click through rate's a great metric. Ad recall lift, impressions, sort of. I don't really care about impressions as much as I used to.
I've never cared.
Oh my gosh,
I've literally never
I could go
cared.
for hours about impressions. They're just ridiculous.
It's a fake metric.
I just think
It's a fake metric.
well, it's not necessarily fake. I feel like it's almost like when these big conglomerate tech industries created advertising, they're like, let's just show them how many times their ads are being shown potentially. And it's like, okay, well, that's great and all. What we all care about the same thing, leads and money. That's what you should be caring about. What's selling and what's not, and who's paying attention to it and who's buying into the brand.
When it comes to
It's just-
impressions, like obviously it's not just completely useless. It is
It's
important.
yeah.
There's quantity and there's quality,
It's
and
good for
obviously
brand because
you
you
want
can
to
see. Yeah.
you want to blend both. And
Yeah.
so click through rate means like, hey, out of all the people we're showing this to, did people
Who
actually like
gives a
your
shit?
ad?
Yeah.
And so if they
Yeah.
don't like it, it's either you're targeting the wrong people or you have a bad ad.
Precisely.
Pretty easy takeaway,
Like, are they buying into it or not?
right?
Exactly.
And then the second one from impressions standpoint is CPMs, which again, not a metric that I
yeah.
really like to
I'm
pay
on and off
attention
with that
to.
one. Mm-hmm.
And so what CPMs is cost per thousand view.
Yeah.
And basically a lot of advertisers like to look at that from a standpoint of how competitive is it to advertise
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
And so as you get closer to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it costs a lot more to get in front of your target
Totally.
demographic.
Mhm.
And other times of year, it doesn't. But
yeah.
if you're viewing that on a singular platform, I don't think it makes a difference.
No.
Frankly.
No. And honestly, like, again, just with where TikTok is, YouTube Shorts, Reels with Instagram, short form video is the future of marketing. So when you're running these on paid ads with Facebook, Instagram retargeting, engagement metrics are a really good one for brand awareness. How many people are watching 30 seconds, 60 seconds of that video? Because I can retarget them in a very powerful way. So we want to make sure we're creating rich videos that sell the product, sell the service, sell the culture of the team, sell whatever you're doing, and make sure we're getting people to watch that video and click and to your website and stuff.
Yeah, and to that point, those other platforms you just mentioned, that's when you start thinking about
Mhm.
cost per thousand views or CPM,
Yeah,
right? It's,
mhm.
hey, can I get way more
Oh,
exposure
yeah.
off the same video off TikTok right now?
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're launching this
Yeah.
podcast. It's still pretty young,
Mhm.
but Instagram doesn't give you anything
Yeah.
organically.
Mhm.
TikTok gives you 3x
It's true.
minimum
Yeah.
to Instagram, and
Um,
then YouTube Shorts
mhm.
annihilates
My
both
gosh, yeah,
platforms.
they're all great. Honestly, I recommend being on all three, but you don't have to do overnight. You don't have to make it this again uphill battle to climb. But Instagram Reels, like on the average, like my clients will eventually have a viral reel. It only is a
Yeah.
matter of time. Not, and I don't mean viral like 1.2 million, but like a huge boost for their business in that particular area because the algorithm starts to figure out the business and it will help you guys out. So I highly recommend being like on YouTube Shorts, TikToks, Reels on Instagram. Eventually, something good will happen from them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Cool. Let's talk about remarketing a little bit.
let's go.
What is it?
Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Sorry. Just looking at my
Do you
notes.
want to define it or do you want me to? I'm just kidding. Okay, I'll define it. Okay, so in my perspective, retargeting is one of the most important areas of your marketing strategies. Because more than ever in today's market, people are forgetting about you.
Short attention span.
They are getting hit by everything. So let's just take the example of like a landscaper. Say I was doing marketing for a landscaper. We got all the bells and whistles and all the fun hot to trot terms, right? YouTube shorts, TikTok, Facebook and Instagram ads, Google ads, retargeting, SEO, optimizing your website, referral programs, door knocking, canvassing, you name it. So, what I'm trying to get at is retargeting is going to serve you well because if this Jane Smith is in the orthodontist appointment with her son and she's in the office, she's in the, waiting room, she's on her phone, she is getting hit with engagement photos, baby photos on Facebook and Instagram is what I'm referring to right now. She's getting hit with her friends, who knows what. She's getting hit with real estate ads, interior designer ads, the t-shirt she bought 2 months ago, they're retargeting her with those t-shirts, right? It's saturated. You got to remember that. Like everything is saturated now. You got to also hit the market right now because who knows what it's going to be like in 2 years. So everything is saturated and everything can work for you right now if you know how to do it the right way. So retargeting is a very important step through Facebook and Instagram retargeting, Google retargeting, email retargeting, word of mouth retargeting, referral program retargeting.
But what is it though?
Retargeting. Oh, sorry. Okay. So retargeting is staying top of mind at all times. You want to be in front of anybody that might be interested in your brand at all times. You want to stay in front of them versus your competitors. You want to re engage your target audience. You want to reintroduce your product, reintroduce your service all the time. And in a way that's not too invasive where somebody's going to get pissed off and say unsubscribe, leave me alone or report your ad, but in a way that's creative, that has maybe an incentive that's going to keep their psyche top of mind that you care about them and not you're not going to screw them over. Just staying top of mind in front of your ideal client at all times is a great strategy. And there's plenty of ways to do that through a marketer or on your own.
Yeah, I mean, especially with service-based clients where your sales cycle might be longer,
Oh
right?
yeah.
I'm a
Mhm.
homeowner. I have crazy shit pop up every year where
All
I'm like,
day.
I got to fix this now.
Oh, great.
Awesome. That was an
I
expense I
love
wasn't
that.
planning
That's
for.
that's great for
But
me.
like last year I had multiple of those pop up at the same time. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Like,
all
oh
right, I'm
shoot.
researching all these options.
Yeah.
What's the lowest common denominator? What can
Mhm.
I afford now or what's going to,
Mhm.
impact my security or my safety the most? And I'm going to go with that. That doesn't mean I still don't need to do those other things. So all those companies I was researching for those other things that I didn't pull the trigger on, if they fall by the wayside and they don't communicate with me
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
then I'm either going to have to restart my research or I'm going to go with the company that is
Yes.
communicating with
Be
me.
authentic. Like, just the other day I was going through ad copy of two roofers online. One had Colorado's #1 roofing, whatever, in the headline. And the other one said, we offer free inspections. It was really generic, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Colorado #1 and offers the free inspection and does all the bells and whistles because they sold me on just that ad copy and they're gonna protect my finances and my peace of mind. So all of it matters. Just remember all of it matters and don't make it complicated.
Sweet.
Does that make sense with retargeting though? Did I define that clearly enough?
I think if I
It's
were
a
to
big
just,
subject.
I think if I were to oversimplify it, which you mentioned this, it's
How do we
just
say it to a third grader? Go.
re-engage with people who have interacted with your business.
Sure.
If they watched a video and they
Yep.
watched 50% of it, make sure that you continue to talk to them because they were clearly interested enough to watch 50%. Or
Absolutely.
if they go and check out your website and they're on your website for a minute and a half, they're clearly interested enough in your business that you should be
Yep.
talking to them. Or
Absolutely.
if they add a product to their cart, this isn't technically remarketing, but it's
That
similar
product should be
similar
showing up.
thread.
Mhm.
You should be showing them dynamic remarketing ads of that product.
200%.
You should be sending them an abandoned cart email,
Yep.
right? You don't want people to forget about you, so you want to consistently put yourself in front of them at times that make sense. And I think that's
Mhm.
something that we haven't gone too in depth on is you don't want to hit them 20 times within one day and say,
No.
"Hey, why didn't you buy
And they'll
this?"
also flag you sometimes and say, I don't want to see this ad anymore. And the
Right.
algorithms pick up on that.
So it's a lot of like impulse buy e-commerce clients that I
Mhm.
have. 70 to 90% of their purchases are on day one.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
insane.
interesting.
But
Mhm.
you look at a service-based client,
It's a long
that can span
journey.
6
It's a
months to 2
mhm.
years
It can
before
be
making a purchase
I
decision.
train all of my service-based clients, like, if they're not ready in 2024, we're gonna make them be ready in 2025, 2026. They're not going to any competitor but your business in the next 4 years. You have to prepare for that decision-making long term. It's very important,
So
and retargeting is a part of that.
you spread out your messaging, and especially it needs to be crafted towards that user and crafted towards the time of year, I think is really
Absolutely.
key,
And
right?
not only that, but your automations, your CRM software, your sales guys. For example, Sally Jane Smith calls into a landscaper, we're going to redo our whole house. It's a $25,000 project, but I talked to my husband and, we're going to wait till next summer. That is not a dead lead. That is a 2025 lead or 2026 lead. And that needs to be put in your CRM as such because you will be surprised how many clients I work with that do these types of automations and they put them in these specific buckets of lead nurturing and how to follow up with them. That is the make or break difference of millions of extra dollars at the end of the year or not, or thousands, depending how large you are.
Plus, like you'll find things out throughout the course of the year on ways that you should be communicating with your customers. So like
Huge.
I worked with a lender back in the day, and it's
Mhm.
like, dude, did you hit me up when rates went lower?
Yeah.
No. So why
Yeah.
would I use you again?
No.
I'm gonna find someone else who's
Mm.
gonna communicate with me and say, "Hey, did you know rates are lower? Here's a
Mhm.
perfect time to buy, or here's a perfect time to refi." Right?
Yeah.
Like those are the things where you can follow up with people. Same with roofing. Hey, we're gonna have a crazy March, April, May.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys need to
Prepare for battle.
you need to fill out our lead form now so that we can
Yeah.
get you on if you need a new roof during those months.
Mhm.
Otherwise, sorry, we're we're just not we don't have the bandwidth to support you,
Absolutely.
right?
And more than ever, people like doing business with people. People are sniffing out the bullshitters. And as they should. I mean, it's not TV commercials anymore. TV commercials work for TV, sort of. But Facebook and Instagram work so well because you can have a selfie stick and do a raw video of an inspection process video on top of a roof. Or if you're a landscaper, you can be in front of elderly Jane Smith's house and like doing a whole remodel of the landscaping. If you have a cleaning service, you can be in this fancy kitchen doing your types of services just because people like doing business with people and it's friendly. It's like the neighbor next door. You are creating that content like, hey, we got your back. Look at our cleaning services. This is our 12-point inspection for this kitchen because we do cleaning for this neighborhood. This is how we go about our process every day. And this is why we've had 12 referrals in the last month. It's a really good way of showing what you're made of on Facebook and Instagram and then having everything hold hands now more than ever for a very low cost. Facebook and Instagram is really powerful for paid ads.
Do you like Facebook and Instagram?
I'm obsessed with Facebook and Instagram. I've just cracked a lot of codes in that arena in the last couple of years, and it took me a long time to figure out. And I like it because it works if you do it the right way. And I think it's a very daunting thing for folks to figure out. Also, a friendly fact, you're welcome. Don't do boosted posts ever unless you're running an event. But I do have a lot of clients coming to me like, "Oh, yeah, we've tried Facebook ads, we do a few boosted posts and we've done a few lead gen ads in the past." And I'm like, "But have you done a funnel? And have you had video? And have you had these metrics set up the right way? Have you had the back end settings set up the right way?" Then you will start to see things happen. And a lot of people, the number one mistake I see with Facebook and Instagram paid ads is people will go in. Should I give my secrets away on this?
Yeah, 1,000%.
I'm just kidding. The people will go in and they will set a 35 to $50 a day budget or $5 a day budget to a 2.7 million audience. And
Mm.
I'm like, that campaign is turning off, turning off, turning on, turning off, turning off. Like it's going like this and it can't learn. You got to give machine learning time to breathe and figure out your business and figure out your target market. So you want to have a nice budget for a drill down area. You want to have a nice budget for a lower audience. You want to be like $35 a day for 500,000 people max, 30,000 people max. You can blast certain areas and you're almost tricking the algorithm to show X amount of people your ad. And then you can rotate every 2 weeks or 4 weeks. You want to be really drilled down and use your budget to the max of your capabilities by doing that.
See, what's funny is like I don't operate like other marketers in some of these regards
Yeah.
because I don't care about the number associated with my audience.
See, I do.
I don't, and I never
I
have,
do.
and I have amazing results for my
With
clients
Facebook and Instagram? What are your
with Facebook and Instagram. And
Yeah.
here's the reason why.
Well, it depends. Depends on what campaign objective you have. Because I can target half the US and get really good results, but it depends on budget and it depends on
Right. Give me a second.
Okay.
So, one, if you know that this defined audience is going
Yeah.
to be a good audience for your brand, you should just go for it.
Yeah.
And granted, your budget will dictate how that's going to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a key factor is just knowing that, hey, I built this the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to be functional, right?
Sure. Yeah.
If it doesn't take off, then you know that your audience is too narrow or there's something wrong with your targeting.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where the audience numbers actually play into it for me. Is frequency is a metric that I constantly
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah,
So
I do too. It's up there for me.
frequency is an indicator of audience size.
Yes,
And
yeah.
the thing is, when you combine multiple audiences in Facebook, and it's somewhat of an outdated strategy. I obviously
Mhm.
understand there are plenty of other strategies I'm not going to get into now. But when you combine multiple audiences,
Yep.
sometimes it gives you an insane number, or sometimes it gives you a itty bitty number, or no
Sure.
number. Sometimes it won't even give you a number. And
Yeah.
so that's where I'm like, look, these are guesstimates at best on
Mhm.
Facebook's part.
Yeah.
And if your campaign is performing, you have a good frequency, your other metrics are hitting, you don't need to focus as much on the overall number.
Yeah, it's
This,
true. Depending on, yeah, it all just depends. But also, like, I feel like that's what's so important. If you find good marketers, they will teach you this. Don't make it complicated. Here's what you need to look at. Here's your landscape. Now go. You can do it. It doesn't always have to be this crazy algorithm, even though it kind of is at first. But that's what I like to help entrepreneurs know is like, yes, it all matters, but you can have some breathing room to play with metrics and your results. It's still going to perform.
yeah. And speaking of algorithm, the one thing we haven't really dived into is if you set up conversion tracking properly,
Yeah.
your Facebook pixel on your site,
Importante.
meaning you track when leads come in, you track when sales come in,
How they're coming in.
then
Yep.
feasibly, once you have enough data, Facebook's algorithm will automatically optimize to give you what you want.
Sure.
So if you have a 10 million person audience, Facebook nowadays, and this was not the case 4 years ago, nowadays should be smart enough to understand, hey, they they don't really know what they're doing from a targeting perspective, but
Yeah.
I do. I know what I'm doing. I know what they want.
Yeah.
And so I'm only going to
Yeah.
show to this bucket of this 10 million person
Yeah,
audience.
exactly. And that's what you need to be doing is you need to be drilling down. And I just love to rotate. I love to rotate different metrics, different demographics, different audiences compared to budget. And that's when I see like some really good results come out of those is when we're rotating different strategies every 2 to 4 to 6 weeks.
How do you respond when Facebook changes the game?
They change it a lot. And I know anyone watching this knows Facebook and Instagram, you want to scream into a pillow sometimes. It's breaking all of the time. There's glitches, there's errors, there's weird notifications. It's kind of like this ghost town of like chaos, but also can work and make your business make millions, is how I describe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it changes a lot. But just ask a third party. If you know anyone, you can ask like just, hey, can you put your eyes on this? What does it mean? I know that's a big area for clients. They just don't know what to do when there's these weird notifications or, changes that happen with settings. Just in 2023 and 2024, I've seen the most back end changes that I've probably seen in 5 years. Just for because of machine learning, and there's all of these like new Google took on a lot of Facebook attributes, and then Facebook did the same thing about Google. So they're trying to do a lot more smart learning and smart settings right now. Facebook and Instagram are. I highly recommend not doing that. Google has some really nice performance max areas and whatnot. Facebook and Instagram has some nice smart learning, but I wouldn't recommend doing most of their smart learning at this point in time. But it is changing all the time. I don't really have a great answer for that because you do kind of need an expert to figure out just the ropes to show you the basic shells, and then you guys can usually take it on later. But it changes every 6 months,
Yeah,
probably.
I think
Is that okay to say? Probably 3 to 6 months.
it changes all the time, and I think that's why you should have an expert at least in your ear every now and then, if not
Yeah,
actively managing your campaigns. And I mean, this is my job, so I definitely recommend having an expert. But
yeah.
if you figure it out for yourself,
Just at least
great.
for a while.
But
Mm,
the one thing that I think holds true, regardless of platform changes, regardless of algorithm changes, is exactly what you're saying, which is your brand needs to be so
It has to
strong
sing for you.
that when things change, people hear that music.
200%. And it will sell for you. It will, because when people didn't have what we have today, those brands did what they did.
Yeah,
Like I think I read in one of my
sneakily
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, like when okay, I don't even know. Okay, for the record, I don't drink Budweiser, okay? But this is a good story because and it's okay if you do. But they during prohibition, like they got slapped with no more alcohol. And they figured out a way to market themselves selling 10 other products during this hardest point of time of alcohol sales. So you have to learn to pivot. You have to learn to sing. You have to let people to keep buying from you because you know your stuff. You have to keep that boat afloat. And that is your job as an owner and your staff's job. And everyone has to be going to the same goals in the same direction. That has to be in your regular internal meetings. And your marketing is just tools to put fuel to that fire. It's really just exploding your overall goals and incentives. Marketing is tools. It's just that's all it is. It's a tool. And don't expect it to be a magic wand. It can be a magic wand, but you have to know what you're doing and you have to trust it and you have to give it time and you have to work all of those different buckets. But it's very important to realize, it's just a tool. Your brand is your brand. It's
Yeah.
your job to make it thrive.
All right, I got one more topic that I want to
Yeah.
get into before we wrap up here.
If you could be a kitchen appliance, what would you be and why? Scary movies. Go.
No.
Okay. Okay.
um, man, where are we going with this? Oh, customer experience and brand loyalty.
Yeah.
So we've talked about everything from the lens of the business owner,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
And the branding from the business.
Yeah.
What do you do outside of just your language?
Yep.
What do you do in terms of action, your process, sales enablement, that type of stuff?
Yeah.
What do you do to make your customers happy?
Um,
Keep your customers, have them be your advocates.
I love this topic because it circles back into retargeting and brand awareness because every transaction, every QR code, that if you're you're selling a product or anything that you are doing or selling as a service-based industry is an opportunity for 10 more sales. And you have got to use the people that you have sold to already as referral armies. I can't believe like how many businesses lay this out without any retargeting or getting more people involved that they've already worked with to work for them. It's a snowball effect of
Yeah.
amazing success. If you can create referral armies, and it's not invasive. A lot of homeowners, if you've done a great job, if you're a landscaper or HVAC or plumber or roofer, or if you're a cleaning service, or if you're selling this amazing new shoe that everyone's wearing, why not use those customers as referral armies to do work for you, especially everyone that owns a social media account. It doesn't have to be a social influencer with 10,000 people. One sale is a sale. Like you can slowly start to work that in. But lead nurturing is the number one area of flaw I see with my clients. Lead
Same.
nurturing, lead nurturing, lead nurturing, lead
Yeah.
nurturing. It is especially when we get Facebook and Instagram sales in, Google sales in, who's following up with these leads? Let's just pretend it's a service-based industry. We have 5 sales guys working for this company. Who's following up with these Facebook and Instagram leads? I know Joe's following up with phone. Sam is following up with website leads. And then Tanner's following up with Facebook and Instagram leads. And then what? and who's following? And then what buckets are they getting put into with your CRM? And are they getting followed up with in
Do
the
you
fall?
have a CRM?
Do you have a CRM or any kind of documentation? But same thing with products. How many of these were sold? What location were these sold in? Did we sell 10,000 of this and why? And can we use these people that bought these $10,000 this month to go sell for us in another area? So think strategically with the sales you've already had. We're all after sales and that's great in leads. And then we get them and we don't use them to our advantage. We don't ask those people to follow up and sell for us. And it can make huge, huge pivots to your business in a positive way.
Yeah.
If we just use people as referral armies. Yeah. And you'd be surprised how many people know people.
Yeah.
Thousands of people that can potentially buy your product or service.
I mean, I think square one is just even ask.
Yeah.
Just minimum ask. Like, hey,
Yeah.
can you leave me a review?
Yeah.
Or here's a QR code. Scan it to leave a review. Like,
Yep.
Put it in your invoice receipt.
I had a client the other day. He went back and went through all of our October, November, December sales that we drove leads through Facebook and Instagram funnels. We had 2 sales guys go hit the ground running with October through December leads. They got over $360,000 just from going back to those leads. Bless you.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I was so deep in thought. Sorry. But they got over 360,000 in one of their slowest months just because we went back and followed up. And the homeowners were like, oh yeah, I forgot to call you back.
and this is the thing is like,
that's so much money on the table.
Don't put it all on your marketing agency.
No. And internal team members.
They're there to drive brand awareness. They're there to drive you leads.
We passed that baton. Yeah.
Once you get those leads, yes, remarketing kicks in. Yes, email kicks in. But if you don't go out of your way to call these people when things are slow,
I can only do so much.
It's like you don't want to be successful.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And remember why you started in the first place. That's where do you want to be revenue wise? Like break down those goals. It's December 31st, 2024. Where are you as a business? Now, how do we go backwards? And it's now March. How do we get to that spot? It's through lead nurturing and it's through training your in-house staff to be on the same page as you are and working with your marketers to be a tool to thrive, make that fire thrive. Those end goal thrives.
Yeah.
End goals thrive. That's what it shows.
Yeah. And that's the show. No,
and that's a wrap.
Well, cool. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to get more in depth
I
with?
have millions of topics, obviously. No.
Cool.
I don't think so.
Well, everyone.
Yet.
Again, Hailey Hawkes, CEO of Horsetooth Marketing, been in marketing for years, so check her out.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a guest on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was fun.
I love this.
We'll have you back at some point
yes.
to talk about all the other things.
Oh yeah, millions of other topics.
All right. Thanks everyone. Like and subscribe for more.
Bye-bye.